Mid-caps, ICICI Securities, who joins us on the sidelines of ICICI Securities conference. Hi, Nihal. Thanks so much for joining in today. You know, a couple of stocks that you track very closely, something like a Kajaria as well as Somani, over the last few years, they've given you big returns. How much more juice is left in these stocks, looking at the valuations?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, over the last 5 years, these companies have grown at a phenomenal pace of around, say, 20-25%. If you look at bottom line has been very strong with margins scaling up. Now, one thing we need to understand that between the phase FY10 to FY14, where the gas prices had rocketed up at least by 2.5 times, even during those periods, some of the companies were able to withstand their margins, while Kajaria in fact took a leap up and had a great run in the margins as well. So that clearly shows the kind of branding power all these companies have. And now we are in a scenario wherein last 6 months we have seen carnage in gas prices, and I think that's where there will be humongous opportunities for strong brands like both Kajaria and Somani to even further up their margins from these very high levels. And that's where we get a very high level of conviction, while even if the top line would continue to remain under a bit of pressure, like we don't see them going up to around 18-20% kind of growth anytime for next couple of years. But even if they showcase something like 10-12% kind of growth, I think with the kind of inflation in gas prices or the savings in gas prices we are going to see, I think that in itself will give a very strong bottom line growth for at least for next 2-3 years going forward.
Okay. Nihal, did you increase your target price on Somani post a good set of earnings? Stock has hit a fresh 52-week high. What is the new call? Any change in estimates?
No, in fact, we recently came out of the report just a couple of days back. Yes, we already built in traction and margins. I think this is a story where the margins can definitely play out incrementally going forward. Now, if you look at the gap between Somani's margins and Kajaria's margins, it's gone up to almost like 1,200 basis points. But now I think there's everything in Somani to play for with the kind of value addition the company is now bringing on the table, the large format tiles coming into play. The company has recently commissioned with 4 million square meter of GVT, which is definitely going to add to their value addition. And the company also is now focusing on one of the very important aspects of this industry, which is organized display protocol at the exclusive showrooms. So company over the last 2 years has been very focused on the exclusive side of the story, which is where Kajaria has been predominantly doing it over the last 5 years. And this is where I think Somani is very strongly catching up, and that's where we really see very high conviction growth coming in as far as Somani is concerned going forward.
All right, and yeah, let's talk about another couple of stocks, and Greenply as well as Century Ply. What do you prefer over there? I know they have some capacities that are going to come on stream as well in the next couple of years. What's your take on both those two stocks? What's your preference?
See, I wouldn't want to comment on any of the stocks in the space, but yes, we are very bullish on the plywood space in general. This industry has a lot of levers going forward. One of the biggest levers is the shift from unorganized to organized. Now, even today, we have 14,000 crore of the industry which are still organized of the total 18,000 crore. And if you look at last 10 years, both Greenply and Greenply and Century Ply both grew at 28% and 23% respectively. That's top line CAGR, which is very strong. Now what has happened is because of the rising inventories in the real estate, all of a sudden you are seeing the premium segment in both the cases has shown a dip, and that's why you're seeing the top line not growing for either of these companies in the last 4 quarters. Where the story would now come in is the mid segment, which is the commercial grade segment, which is where of the 18,000 crore industry, you have 10,500 crore of the industry which is sitting there. And that's where both Green and Century have been focusing very strongly over the last couple of years. And that's where we will see a significant opportunity as far as shift from unbranded to branded play is concerned. And that's why we believe for both these brands growing at 6-7% going forward till the time the inventory issues goes past them. I think that's where they'll grow at 6 to 7%. But I think one of the biggest levers going forward would be GST as and when it comes in. I think as and when GST comes in, you'll straight away see both these stocks, and these are the only 2 stocks in the industry. It's basically a duopolistic industry, which the plywood industry is, wherein both these players command nearly 50% market share. as far as the organized industry is concerned. I think with GST coming in, both these brands will again start growing at 15-20% over the next 5 years or so. And that's where the story lies ahead for both these brands.
Okay, we'll leave it at that, Nehal. Thanks so much for joining in, and you have a good conference. By the way, European markets have extended their fall, so the CAC is now down more than 1%, while the DAX is lower by close to about 0.5%, and that's dragged the Dow futures as well. Just 5 minutes back, the Dow futures was flat. Now it's down close to about 1%. Time to slip into a very short break, but on the other side, Harita Seatings has reported a good quarter. H. Lakshman and the chairman of the company will join in with their earnings. Stay tuned.